Dancing in the dark, I can't forget. Even now I realize the time will never get. Another story of the bitter pills of fate. I can't go back again, I can't go back again. Well, you asked me to love you and I did. Traded my emotion for a contract to commit.
Okay, so I asked on social media, on Instagram and Facebook and places like that, if anybody had any questions that they want to ask me, so I could do sort of a Q&A session. And some of you have got back to me with some pretty good questions actually, so I'm going to attempt to answer those questions to the best of my ability, and hopefully I'll give you a bit of an insight into how things are going and what it's like living like this. So check them out. So hopefully this isn't cutting my head off too much. Hopefully I've turned the microphone on as well. Let me just check that. So I've been making YouTube videos for about a year now. I am still fucking useless at it. And I can't stop swearing as well, which is something else that is going to get me in trouble on YouTube, no doubt. Anyway, listen, back to the Q&A. So I've been given a list of questions here, and I'm going to try and go into those questions in some depth to let you all know, you know, rather than just answering yes and no and all that kind of thing. I'm going to go into it in a bit more detail. I'm going to stop fiddling. This is another thing. When I make videos, I fiddle around with things. I don't look at the camera. There's so many things I need to improve on. And this coffee's hot. Okay, so question one. Are you glad you made the move into boat life? Yeah and no, actually. Now, I know that regular viewers of this channel will have seen my excitement at the fact that I own a boat, and it has been something that I've always wanted to do. Always wanted a boat, even not to live on, just wanted a boat. Like, I've always been fascinated with boats. Moving on to the boat was something that happened accidentally, and also was as a result of my daughter not really enjoying living in the smaller van full time. So I got the boat to make things a bit more comfortable and have a permanent base while still being able to enjoy the van. However, I kind of wish I'd just manned that out a little bit and just got over that and worked and got the bigger van like I have now and made it what Alice wanted it to be and permanently lived in the van. Now, I love the boat again. I love everything about it. I think it's brilliant. I enjoy waking up every day on a boat. It's again, it just makes me smile so bad. But I've got outgoings and bills and stuff, and I didn't really. That's what I wanted to avoid. So, if I lived in the van, my outgoings would be barely anything. However, now I've got moorings to pay and bills to pay, boat licenses, insurance, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I am glad that I got a boat, and I'm glad that I experienced it. However, it wasn't the life that I intended, really. Oh, I suppose I did always want a boat. Anyway, boat is what it is, and it's fine. It's a nice like having a base, and it's good. So it's alright, yeah. Is the straightforward answer to that one. It's alright, it's good. Anyway, question 2. What things are often overlooked that a wannabe van dweller needs to know? Now, this is, I know, I'm not going to name who's asked me all these questions just because, you know, that's not the point, but I know who this is from, and they are looking to move into a van full time. Things that are overlooked. The issue I had was where to park at night, especially because I work in one place of work. I don't work on the road, so every time I finished work I had to think of somewhere to go, and that's what got me in trouble, which then ended up with me buying this boat. So finding somewhere decent to park, I think, would be the hardest thing. You often think, oh yeah, I'll just park here or park there, but sometimes it's never that straightforward. I think you would probably have to plan months in advance as to where you are going to park and going to stay. Because again, I suppose van life isn't really about living in a van on somebody's driveway. That's not really the point, is it? But at the same time, you know, if you need to do that, you need to do that. It's better than just pulling up at some sort of local beauty spot and then being kicked off in the morning, or being kicked off at night, or locked in, or anything like that. That's the hardest thing, I think, especially in this country. Other things that are overlooked, I mean, going to the toilet is a good one. So I would get a chemical toilet or something, or a composting toilet. Also, again, I had this issue with the T5. Just being able to stand up and stretch, having the space. If you're going to live in it full time, then a T5 wasn't ideal. And I know people that have lived in T4s and they did it for a long time. And in fact, my friends on this marina have lived in a transit van for 6 years, I think. But for me, having the bigger space was better. But then, ironically, I bought a boat that I can't stand up in. It's a tough one. But yeah, as far as the van goes, I would look at permanent places to park, so you're not worried about it, you know. Anyway, question 3. What's less hassle, van or a boat? Tough question. The boat is less hassle because it's parked here, that's it. It's moored up, it's connected to the electricity. It's more or less like a normal house. It just floats on water. It's much less hassle. It's much less hassle. There's no real hassle here apart from some things that I'll probably cover later on. The van is a hassle because it can't fit in a lot of car parks. It only just fits through like drive-throughs and things like that, but retail parks and stuff, it doesn't get through the barriers. That's annoying. So yeah, the boat is less hassle actually. Have you ever used a gas heater? Well, the only time I've used a gas heater in my van was when me and Stuart went to Wales, and Gwyneth, I didn't have any heating whatsoever in the van when I first bought it, and it was freezing cold, and Gwyneth gave me a gas heater, but I was scared to use it because I didn't want to die. I would not. Gas is bad. As far as I'm aware, gas gives off sort of moist air or something, so you end up with condensation and all kinds of things. Plus, it gives off gases and stuff. You don't want to be messing with that. I recommend the diesel heaters, and I know that I pipe on about diesel heaters a lot, but I've got a diesel heater in the van and in the boat, and they are brilliant. Like at night, the other night, as you may have seen on my other YouTube video, it was 28 degrees inside here. And this is like 10 o'clock at night, and it uses barely any diesel. I think somebody worked it out at something like 40 pence an hour or something. I think, may not have even been that. Roughly 40 pence an hour, I think. So anyway, yeah, I would much rather go for a diesel heater rather than gas heaters. How have you found boat life so far? Again, you know, I sort of covered it in the other question, but living on this boat is good. Like, it's fun. It's not ideal in any way. It's like, you know, it's quite narrow and quite short and all that, and there's not a lot of storage space. Well, actually, there is more storage space than I'm utilising. I just need to work on this a bit better, the way I'm putting things. But it is tiny. 26 feet, and I'd say 5 to 6 feet of that are at the back of the boat outside. So actually I've probably only got 20 feet. In fact, that where the windows are, again, that's another 2 foot, so I've probably only got 18 foot of actual living space, which is tiny really, but brilliant, really good. And the fact that it's got an engine, and the fact that I get to go out and cruise around on it is an extra bonus. I'd never driven a boat before this, and then I got one, and you don't have to take a test or have a license. You just get to just go out. They give you the keys and say, right, there you go. That is just exciting, and it's just brilliant. And it never ever, gets boring taking the boat out. I would literally be out on the boat. I'd be out on the boat today if the canal wasn't frozen. Every opportunity to take this boat out, even if it's just for a couple of hours, I take it out. I absolutely love it. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? And do you have any plans to quit work to travel? Okay, so I don't talk about what I do for a living, just because it's private and not really anybody's business, but also I don't want any interference with, you know, I do get some bad comments sometimes, and I do say things that are my opinion, and I don't want them to reflect on what I do for a job. However, I will tell you now that I work for a charity that looks after disabled children, and that's all I'm going to give away, really. I've worked there for 4 years, and I don't intend on leaving. It's something that's very close to my heart, and I've worked very hard to get into the position that I am in, but also that company has worked very hard to get me in the position that I'm in. So I have a connection, an emotional connection to that company, not just that I get paid to do it. It's much more than that. I mean, to put it into perspective, last year, that's not this year, things have improved, but last year I earned £7,000 in total working for that company. So it wasn't about the money, it was about the satisfaction that I got from that job. Now, I earn more than that now. I work full time, I get paid a decent wage, but I have a connection to that company. I don't ever see me leaving that company. However, I do plan on travelling. So what may happen is I may look at working, because I work from a laptop, so I can work anywhere really. So I may look at working for that company, but on the road also. I can have a break if I needed to. I can have holidays. I can get unpaid holidays if I need. But I do not plan on quitting my job, and I do not plan on earning money by doing things like other people do, like match betting and doing things online. I mean, I get a few quid from YouTube. I'm hoping that improves, because that more or less pays. What does that pay for? It more or less would pay for my heating to run, I think, on the boat, which is good. If I could put diesel in the diesel heater just from money from YouTube, then that's a bonus, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, no plans to leave. I absolutely love my job. Thank you. Is boat life easier or harder than you imagined? I don't think I ever imagined what boat life might have been like. Now, going back a few years, I watched a lot of YouTubers. Sort of Interesting Dan has been somebody that I've followed for a long time, and I'm still disappointed that me and Dan are not friends, but I've tried. But yeah, Sort of Interesting Dan is somebody I've followed for a long time, and I learned a lot about boats before I ever considered buying a boat. And obviously the indie projects had a boat also, but I don't know if I really followed them much about when they had a boat. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I had an indication of what boat life may have been like, and but again, that was from watching other people do it. When I settled in on a boat, there were things to consider. Like, again, I'm babbling on a bit here, but considering to put diesel in the diesel heater, checking that the batteries have got enough power in them and the charger's working, checking the water in the bilge, because you know, water does build up in there sometimes, getting that out. Even again, because mine's a light boat as well, if I put too many things on that side of the boat, then it will sit not level in the water. So back way at the front of the boat, just over there, is the canal path where I walk the dog, and I'll often walk past and think, well, why's my boat leaning? But then I realise that I've got my leisure batteries out and on charge, and they're all on that side of the boat. My fridge is on that side of the boat, all my clothes are on that side of the boat, my tinned food is on that side of the boat, so my boat naturally leans that way. So then I need to balance it out, and that is something that you would never really consider, but I do consider that now. What else is there? I mean, little things like having good internet. When I first moved on, I had no internet and I was tethering from my phone. Internet, unfortunately, is really important these days. It allows me to do everything that I do. But having a good connection, now I've sorted that, it makes a huge difference. I've just noticed that my pram cover flap thing is blowing in the wind, so it means I've not secured that down. So if I'd gone to sleep with that flying around and it had rained, then water would be inside the back of the boat. So, you know, little things like that you have to just think about. The amount of times I've left my keys inside the boat and closed the door and it's got a Yale lock on it, and then I had to climb through the window, which is not a big window, believe me, and I don't know how I get my belly through that window, but I get my belly through that window. I have to climb through the window, get into the boat, to get the keys and everything. Just little things like that, really. Just tiny little inconveniences or things that you don't think about. However, the positives far outweigh any of those things. It is something else. I recommend it. I recommend this. This is kind of cleansing. I'm on my own. I've spent the last 2 days on my own with not really speaking to anybody in real life. And actually it's really nice. And I need attention, I need human interaction from people that I like, not just the general public. But yeah, that is good. How have you I can't even say this with a straight face. How have you found other boaters? Now, this is a sore subject. And I think that the person that gave me this question knows that's a sore subject, because there has been nothing but drama on this mooring, in this marina. I have had hassle from day zero. So, as some of you regular viewers may know, I was on the odd occasion sleeping in my van in the car park to this marina before boats were even considered, and I was booted off by an angry guy. And I said to him, I'm going to buy a boat on here one day and we're going to be neighbours and it's going to be really awkward now you've had a go at me. And I did all them things. I bought a boat and his boat is just near mine, and now it's awkward. But actually, he isn't a problem anymore. There are many other people on this marina that are a problem. I've been reported to the Canal and River Trust for dumping diesel in the canal, which I didn't do, for dumping rubbish in the canal, which I didn't do. What were the others? Working on my car in the car park, which I did do, but I was allowed to do. Paint in my van in the car park, which I was allowed to do. There were some others. I've been reported to the Canal and River Trust for so many things. I've been talked about. I've been reported. I've just had hassle. I've had to involve the police because the boat opposite mine, which I'm looking at now, pointed all these cameras at my boat, and the night vision cameras pointing. And it is that bad. And also, I don't know if Matt is going to be bothered about me saying this, but my friends who just moved here, who you may know on social media for these rolling hills, they have had notes put on their van this morning saying don't park here. They've lived here for months now. Everybody knows their vehicle, and they're still putting nasty notes and threatening notes on cars. It is fucking petty around here, right? However, some of the boaters are really nice, but there is a gated community feel to this place. There's a lot of paranoia. Before you even get to the gate, there are probably 10 cameras pointing at you. And as you walk up the jetty, there's just cameras pointing at you all the time. It isn't that good. And we pay a lot of money to be here. It's meant to be... Some of the boaters on here are very proud of this area and proud of where they live and proud of their boats and everything, but it isn't what they paint it to be. It's very difficult to explain. Very difficult to explain. But I think it's around 50-50, but I think maybe just the majority, just The nicer ones just get the edge. I think there may be just... The nicer ones may... Yeah, there may be more nicer ones than bad ones. But there are certainly people on this marina who are very close to being thrown in the canal by me. And I'm not confrontational, aggressive, threatening in any way. But there are people who are very close to getting pushed in canal. And I don't like it. I don't like living like this. But other than that, it is good. I don't want to... That's not boaters in general. That's not every marina or every mooring. Just this one. And the person that asked me that question doesn't live at this mooring, doesn't live at this marina, but knows the reputation of this marina. That's why it's been asked. So thank you for that. I hope I've made it clear enough what it's like. Anyway. Is the puppy okay after her swim? Right. So, the dog. The dog obviously is a rescue dog, and I've been trying really hard to get her used to me and used to these surroundings. And the other day, I was walking with her and she was off the lead. The canal was frozen and then it had snowed on top of the ice, and there was a bird, and she chased the bird onto the ice, ran to the opposite side of the canal. The ice broke and she fell in. I couldn't get to her. It was the opposite side. There was no bank at the other side. She was in the water for 15 minutes trying to get out. I finally managed to get round to the other side, which was a long way because I had to run down to the nearest lock, cross over, then run through some people's property, climb big fences, climb through brambles, hunt through some woods, found the spot where she'd fell in, and she wasn't there. So I thought she was dead. This is after less than a week of owning this dog. But in the end, I found her hidden in some reeds. She couldn't get out. She was frozen. But I managed to save her, and we took her to the vets, and she's been given the all clear. And she's fine now. She's acting like nothing ever happened. It was just me that was traumatised by this. So, dog life is stressful already, which is just what I need right now. But thank you for that. She's doing fine now. She's all right. You've had a boat and you've had a van. When are you going to take to the air? With my luck and my track record with everything, the last thing I want to do is fly an aeroplane. But also I couldn't afford it, so no, I won't be taking to the air. Maybe I could buy a hot air balloon and live in that. That'd be good, wouldn't it? What's the hardest thing about your new life? The hardest thing about it is not having a bath. I've got a shower, but not a bath. I wish I had a bath. Maybe I could make a bath. Maybe I could make a bath under my bed and lift it up. I just wish I had a bath. Anybody that knows me knows that when I get in a bath, I'm in it for 2 hours, and that's where I want to stay. I'd love long baths. I miss that the most. That's the hardest thing about this life. Oh, and it can get lonely, actually, out here. But I'm learning a lot about myself, and that's good. How do you find using a chemical toilet? I think we all know. Anybody's ever emptied a chemical toilet will know how well I'm handling emptying a chemical toilet. And I've now got 2 chemical toilets to empty. It's disgusting. It's the worst. Man, that is the hardest thing about this life, is emptying the chemical toilet. It's disgusting. I've never seen it or smelt anything like it in my life. It's by far the hardest thing. Have you made many new friends in this new life? Well, actually, yeah. Like, I'm making new friends every day, even if they're like social media friends, people reaching out to me asking questions or just being entertaining. It's fun. I make a lot of friends. I've made some really good friends, as you all know. It's well documented who I hang around with and talk to a lot. But even in Sheffield, I never expected there to be like a van community, but actually there is. An example of that is, I bought a ladder for the rear of the Sprinter so I can climb up onto the roof easier when dealing with the solar stuff. So I just went on Facebook Marketplace and put van ladder in, and this guy was selling a van ladder, and I said, right, I want this van ladder off you. I said, where do you live? He says, oh, well, I live in my van, so I can be anywhere. And I was like, what? You live in... What a coincidence. Like, anyway, friends with that guy now. Him and his missus and dogs live in a Volkswagen, something or another. Big thing. Looks amazing. So we're now friends. Like, just a coincidence, but now it's like a new person that I talk to. And then, again, through just Facebook groups, I found another guy that helped me out with my solar panel, solar charger. Lives in Sheffield. I never knew that there'd be people around here that did that. Anyway, made loads of friends. I'm making friends every day. And that's good. And that's unusual for me also, because I generally think people are shit and I can't stand people, but it's a different way of thinking now, isn't it? Have you made friends with the grumpy old man who tried to kick you off the mooring? Again, I have sort of touched on this a little bit. I haven't made friends with him, but I say hello to him every day when I see him, and he has tried to help me with when I had engine problems and stuff. But also, apparently, he's told some other people that he feels bad about that, and that, you know, he regrets speaking to me in the way he did, and that's fine. I don't have any problem with him anymore. Life's too short for that. Besides, I've got other dickheads around here to have problems with now. He's a small fry in comparison to some of the people that live around here. But no, I don't have a problem with him. It's not worth it, is it? Do you see this as a long-term plan, and do you see yourself going back to bricks and mortar? I get asked this question a lot, actually. I could quite easily probably just go move into a house or apartment or flat tomorrow, but I don't have any plans to. I'm enjoying living how I'm living. I wish I had a bath. That's the main thing. Who knows how long this will last? I could fall in love tomorrow and move in with somebody, or get married, or have a child. I could do any of those things tomorrow, and then that would force me really to live in a house. And I would do that. I would do that if that was what was needed. I can't be doing I can't really be doing those grown-up things and still living like this, I don't think. But who knows? I don't have any plans to do that. Again, don't have any plans to do that, but these things happen, and who knows? So I don't see myself living in bricks and mortar, but in 3 months' time that might be different. In 6 months' time it might be different. My boat could sink tomorrow, and knowing my luck, I'll crash it into an iceberg or something. What are your plans for this year? Go see friends more. Go get out in the van more. Go to some events, actually. Meet some people that I speak to on social media in real life. That would be a good one, because that's something that we don't do enough of. A lot of people talk on social media but don't actually meet up. I've got people that I've known for 10 years on social media and never met them, and I'm going to try and change that. And also, when I first moved into the van, people on my own personal Facebook reached out to me and said, if you ever need anything, come see us. And I've not, it's been 5 months now, and I've not seen most of them. I need to change that. I do want to drive to Poland this year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Time, money, holidays, children, dogs, all of that could change. And that's the last question for now. So that's it for now. That's all your questions, hopefully answered thoroughly enough. Pooch, do you want to say anything? Oh God, you smell. What have you been eating? Anyway, have you got anything to say to the camera? Bye. Bye everyone. Is that what voice you would do? Is that what voice female dogs do? I've never heard a female voice talk in English. You do bark. You do bark? You do any tricks? You gonna say anything? Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the questions, and I hope that they've been answered thoroughly enough. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
Down memories and